All right, my friends, welcome to episode 76 of Prof and Dev Play Games. 76 episodes, that's a
Yeah,
lot. Wow. Well, I'm the Professor Larry, and over there is Anthony, the Dev. How's it going, dude?
pretty good.
Yeah,
24 more episodes. 100.
yeah, we
What
got
are
to
we going to
think
do
of
for
something.
we have 24 weeks to figure out something to do for 100th episode.
Yeah, I wonder. We'll have to put some thought into that and do
Yeah.
something a little special. Maybe bring some guests in or
Yeah,
do some sort of weird, I don't know, something landmark, because 100 that's a pretty big milestone. I think a
it
lot of people
is.
start podcasts and with good intentions and maybe don't make it to 100. So that's something special.
It is. It feels we've hit that point where this doesn't feel like out of the ordinary.
No,
It's just Sunday night. This is Tiffany even has it on calendar and everything. Like don't plan things Sunday night. Like
nice.
just this is what's going on.
Yeah, we had dinner with some friends and it was going late, and I was like, well, I'll give you until 9, but I gotta be home because usually it's 8:30, so it gave
Yeah.
half an hour extra. So that worked out. But yeah, it's something I look forward to. I really think through the week, like, oh, I can't wait to talk to Anthony about this or that. And this week's just been a pretty slow week.
Yeah.
um,
Slow in news, but I still don't not slow in game.
oh,
Like,
absolutely not.
and I emphasize game because
And
it's
maybe that's
really one
why.
game.
Yeah, right. And maybe that's why it's slow, because everyone's playing the game. Like listening to a bunch of IGN podcasts. Like, it doesn't matter what show it's unlocked or Beyond or Game Scoop or whatever. It's all Zelda.
Everyone's talking about Breath of the Wild, and they're talking about does it deserve its ratings? Does it not? Like, who was it? Was the video I watched of I think it was an IGN guy getting basically like, okay, you gave this game a 10 out of 10. Why?
Yep.
We're gonna start poking you and asking you hard questions. Why is this a 10 out of 10? Like,
Right.
are you inflating this? And the dude's like, no.
Well, there was a similar discussion on the Game Informer podcast, where the guy didn't review it, and he started playing. He's like, I don't really see how it's a 10 out of 10. And as he kept playing, he's like, oh, never mind. This is certainly a 10 out of 10.
Yeah. The
But
only dissenting opinion I've heard is
Jim Sterling.
I've heard that's the Jimquisition dude. I haven't. His website
Yeah.
was down,
Oh,
and
okay.
Jeff Gertzman, Giant Bomb, he didn't review it for Giant Bomb
Right.
because the review on Giant Bomb was exceptional.
Yeah,
And
it was
everyone at Giant Bomb loves the game except Jeff Gertzman.
right. Well, in the recent podcast, he has come around a bit on stuff. He's still negative about some of the exploration or finding things to do, but he said that his initial negatives a lot of them have gone away as he's played more of it. So his opinions come up a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I guess Jim Sterling's thing came out today where it lowered the Metacritic by 1 to 97 instead of 98 because he was upset about a bunch of stuff. I'm not sure. I didn't read it or listen to it, but something happened.
People will have opinions.
Yeah, no, that's how it goes.
Not everyone's going to like every art the same way. So
Right. No, absolutely not. It's just, in my view, it's the best game. It's one of the top 5 games I've ever played, and I'm only 12 hours into it, maybe. And by the time I finish it, like, if things get better, like I hear that they do, like, it's already amazing. So I can't imagine what the crescendo is, but it's got to end up being the best game I've ever played. And that's
just an incredible feat.
Absolutely. Like, how old are we? Like, to know that, like, the best game, I've played a lot of games in my life, and this is the best one, like, hands down, the best one. It's crazy. Like, I love The Witcher. I love the fuck out of The Witcher, and I'm already pretty clear this is better than The Witcher in terms of, not better than The Witcher, but I like it better than The Witcher.
I can see that.
So
I'm excited, but I think this is a great way to seg into our discussion about open worlds. Because it sounds like Zelda and everything. I haven't played it yet. Friday, be there at your place, and I'll get to play.
Yep.
But it sounds like this is like the best open world ever.
It's the best one I've ever played.
And I'm shocked.
That Nintendo's the one that did it?
Nintendo is the one to do it. And that leaves them like, why is this better than other open worlds?
Right.
And I'm specifically talking about the map. What makes this so much better? Like you say, is it better than The Witcher 3's open world and map?
Absolutely.
Okay, why?
So the thing, and I don't know if this is like a big enough answer to that question, but there is the idea of exploration. So when you get to the top of a tower in Breath of the Wild, and kind of unlock a region of the map, basically like a Assassin's Creed style, right?
Yeah.
It unlocks it in that it shows you like the names of like different villages, or the names of like the river or the lake, like the topographical features or the geographical features.
Yeah.
It doesn't tell you where anything in that area is. It doesn't tell you where the shrines are. It doesn't tell you where there might be a temple. It doesn't tell you where there might be like side quests, or it doesn't tell you anything. But because you're up at the top of the tower, you're higher than basically anything around you. So you can see really far. So you're just up there with your binoculars, and you are the one populating your map with icons.
I've heard that. You have like
So
100 you can place down.
yeah, exactly. So for me, that's part of the reason why I like it better than The Witcher 3, because I'm the one determining my course. I'm able to like in The Witcher 3, you go to the boards or talk to people, and you start getting question marks on your map. And that doesn't happen here. You're the one populating the map. And then when you go, let's say that I mark something kind of across the territory to go to. As I go toward it, I'm wandering past things that look just a little off or a little different. They catch my eye, and I go toward them, and it ends up being like this whole huge side quest, or this really charming, unique experience that you didn't know was waiting there. So for example, I'm at this place called Eventide Island right now, which if you've played Breath of the Wild and you haven't tried or played the area of the map around Eventide Isle or Island, try to get to this place. I'm not going to say anything about what happens there, but it's a really special moment. And you kind of get there because the way that the geography is laid out, it's this island in the distance, and you knock down a tree and you get this special item, and it looks like from past Zelda games you can do something with this item, and you see this little boat, and you use the item on the boat, and lo and behold, the whole thing works. And then you kind of propel yourself toward this island, and when you get there, what you do in the game, oh god, I don't know how to say this, but whatever you thought you were doing like completely changes. Like it's like the most surprising thing that has probably ever happened to me in a game. And then you have to complete this task, and the way you complete this task is like it kind of subverts the rules of the game that you've been playing for the last 12 hours.
Oh wow.
And makes it basically like starting over, like brand new, like a new experience in a game that you're already having. I feel like every time you turn a corner, you're having a new experience. And this was like not just like a new experience, but like restarting the game, or like you're starting over, or like you are God, I can't even explain it. Like
the curtain's been pulled back.
Yeah, I guess. And
kind of, and like what you thought was what the game was is not exactly what the game was.
Yeah, well, kind of like what path you were on, and you thought like getting to this place like is going to take you another step on that path. It really spins you around and makes it kind of a new game for a little bit, and just constantly having that experience where it's subverting your expectations and really surprising you around every corner. And the fact that you can climb anything really is, I think, the thing that sets it apart and makes it so open worldish. And kind of a departure from like Horizon, for example. Like you could climb into a lot of places, but eventually you get stopped by like the invisible wall, or even just a wall of rocks you couldn't climb.
Yeah, actually, that brings up why I really want to try to finish Horizon before I play Breath of the Wild.
I'm
worried that it's going to ruin standard open world games for me, or what I've come to view as like the standard.
I really wish that I had finished Horizon before I started this, and my friend here was kind of not begging me, but basically saying like it's a really good idea if you play this before you start Zelda. I should have, because there are things going back that other people have said going back to Horizon. Like it's a great game, a wonderful game, but then there are things that happen in Zelda in terms of the open world that don't happen in Horizon, and you kind of wish they did. So in excuse me, in a Zelda game, you're kind of getting like heart containers or pieces of a heart container to make the another heart, right?
Yeah.
So the mechanic in this game, I don't know if you know about how you get
shrines, right?
Right, and
every 4 shrines, you get you can get a heart or a stamina container.
There we go. Okay.
And so supposedly later on you can swap them. Like there's there is another shrine somewhere in the game that allows you to like redecide how you want to distribute your hearts to stamina.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So that
Okay,
like
that's
you're
cool.
not permanently stuck.
Okay. So the way that I'm playing the game, the first opportunity that I could, I got a heart. No. First opportunity, I got stamina because I wanted to climb more, and then I got a heart, and now I'm realizing I don't really need hearts. I need stamina. So I'm starting to just get all stamina, because the way that the cooking works, in the past you would like cut grass and you get
Yeah,
hearts or whatever. There's so much food and so many ways that you can cook the food. You always have a steady supply to refill your hearts. So if I get hurt, I can just eat food instantly and gain more hearts, or there's food that gives you temporary extra hearts.
I see.
Um, so health isn't really that much of an option, but stamina or a problem, but stamina is. And the more stamina you have, like you could just do anything, climb
Um,
anything, fly anywhere, swim anywhere. It solves a lot of problems in the world. So that's just subverting that idea of what you do with getting the
yeah,
heart containers or that mechanic to increase your health, where I could increase my stamina instead. It depending on which way you go with that, either hearts or stamina, it changes the way you play the game. Kind of like in games where like Dishonored, where you can be all stealth or you can kill
yeah,
everyone in sight. This is like you could be all stamina or all health, and you could run to Ganon in the first hour. Like you can beat the game in an hour if you
yeah,
are skilled enough and want to do that. The game, like I think you said it last week, it doesn't say no. It lets you do anything you want. And there's almost like at this island I went to, there's a task that I have to do, and the task is there wasn't a way for me to reach it. But if I looked around the environment and I realized that I could manipulate the environment in a way, I could change the way that it looked in a way to make myself access that thing. And I'm trying to be vague here.
okay,
So I just tried it. I'm like, well, maybe this will work. And I did it and it worked. And it's just like the laws of physics would dictate that it would work. But usually games don't let you do that.
yeah,
Like if you need to cross a chasm and you're standing next to a bunch of trees, like in Horizon, I don't know if it'll let you cut the trees down to
no,
cross that
no,
chasm.
no.
But in this game, you could do that as an
Yeah,
example.
it's kind of crazy. Like one of the reasons why like you're talking about it, and especially like the map not putting a lot of stuff down there. In some ways, it sounds like Nintendo's created a memorable open world. Like there's just things everywhere to
Everywhere.
find. Like
Hmm.
and not shrines necessarily, but just interesting things that you're like, oh, I want to go look at that. Like that's different. Um, so clearly it doesn't repeat itself too much. So you feel like the world is a thing, but it
No, and
removes your map. Like
well, the thing that's crazy about what you just said is how it doesn't repeat itself. Is there are 120 shrines
yeah,
in the world. So some are straightforward, you just walk right in. Others have like puzzles outside of the shrines to get into the shrines. Others, there's a shrine in the area that doesn't exist until you complete a certain task to make the shrine come up. Like it's not just find a shrine, walk in. Like I've done 14 shrines. I've walked in like 3 or 4.
oh
The
wow,
rest of them are like you have to figure this thing out before you can get into the shrine. So there's an environmental puzzle before you even get to the shrine puzzle. And then I got into a shrine puzzle last night or night before where it said, okay, to beat this shrine, you have to do the puzzle in the other shrine. Like, well, where the fuck is the other shrine? So it gives you like a riddle basically, and you have to like go find the other shrine. And in that shrine, you see like the counterpoint to the puzzle in the first one. So you have to solve that one, take a picture of it to figure out the other one. And like it could just be 120 shrines that repeat. Like, but every shrine has a different type of puzzle. It's laid out a different way. Some of them connect, some of them don't. Some of them have puzzles outside of the shrines. Same thing with the towers. You have to climb towers to
yeah,
unlock parts of the map. Only one of those has been straightforward. Other ones have puzzles in order to get up the shrine. You have to figure out how to like I don't want to be specific, but you have to
yeah,
figure out how to do things to access the tower. There was one I ran straight to the central tower, and it was just surrounded by the guardians basically.
yeah.
And I had like one hit, you're dead. So you have to figure out how to like avoid their lasers as you're going up the tower. And it's just it took me 20 minutes to figure out how to get that tower, and it was like not frustrating every time I died. It was it's almost like Dark Souls where like you make a mistake and you realize that was my mistake.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it better. It's just it's that over and over and over and over and over again. And it's just it's just the reason why I think that open world succeeds is that in the past people have said, well, you see that mountain, you can climb it. Cool. And then you go there and you climb it, and there's nothing up there. And here, like, you see that mountain, you can climb it, and there's like 20 interesting things along the way. There's like 10 interesting things on top of that mountain, things you wouldn't expect. I don't know if you know about the Korok seed puzzles in the world. You know what
No,
the Korok? Oh, okay,
I
I
know
won't say
that
it.
they are, but
Okay,
I know
so
the
so
race.
they exist in this game,
Okay.
and the first way to obtain like the first one you find is pretty straightforward. But then every time you find a new one, it's the way that you get it has changed. So it's different every time. Like there are repeating quests in open worlds, repeating things that you do, but the way that this game does it, like yes, it repeats. There are shrines, there are Korok seeds, but every time you try to get that thing, it's different every time, and it's just incredible how much variety there is in completing the same task over and over.
And I think that's where you hit it on the head for what makes good open world versus bad is variety. And a lot of games will just build a big world. I'm looking at one good example. That was the very first Assassin's Creed.
Right.
Like, it was a huge world. Cities you could roam between. Didn't really mean much. You did the same thing in each city. Like, climb a tower, drop, eavesdrop on some people. Like, it wasn't very interesting in and of itself.
Right.
Horizon is probably, in the more standard way, is the best I've seen in that. Like, I've now unlocked all of the tall necks, so I've seen the entire map now, and there's very distinct geography and regions, but it still lacks a certain level of exploration. Your map's filled out. Like, once you get the tonic, a ton of icons fall down. Just like go collect all the things now.
Right.
The only exploration you're really doing is sometimes you'll be at a point you're like, okay, I know I need to get up to top of this thing. How do I do it? What's the puzzle for me to get up top? Because you can't just climb everything, which I feel like I said, Zelda's going to ruin this kind of games for me. I'm going to play Zelda and be like, I can climb that. If I have the stamina, I'm going to do it.
Yep.
I can just figure this out. I can get up it. In other games, you're going to be just like, where's the handholds that let me get up here? Like,
right.
Let me circle around for 10 minutes trying to find the path that has been defined for me.
Well, the thing that's bothered me a little bit about like Uncharted 4, same thing in Horizon Zero Dawn, and there's like even Assassin's Creed, like the ledges that you can climb on, they're like white, they're chalked out so you can see them easily, to stand out from the environment. But that doesn't really exist in the real world.
No, it's always been a conceit to
right,
that blend of like, well, it's real, it's still a game,
right?
Because I don't think anyone's ever really gone with the route that Zelda's going, where it's just like, no, just climb, it's cool. We're gonna let you have that freedom,
right? Yeah,
we expect you to abuse it, and so we've put things up there. So
yeah, and I think with Zelda, what it does really well about collectibles, and the reason I bring up collectibles because I think sometimes that ruins an open world game for me. Like Assassin's Creed, where you collect the flower petals or you collect the letters.
Yeah.
You haven't played Syndicate yet, I don't think.
No, but they've all had collectibles.
Yeah,
like that.
Exactly. I think when you collect one, they give you like a more of the story or more of the background of the story. So you're learning something more about the world. It's like world building, basically. But it just seemed like a collectathon, like just to put something in the world so that you extends the length of gameplay, basically. Where Zelda has, at least from what I know so far, you're collecting these, for example, the Korok seeds. And when you collect them, they actually do something in the world, like they're useful for something important. Where like those flowers you collect, like the games where you collect things just to collect them, I think that kind of ruins the open world a bit. Whereas if you're collecting things for a particular purpose, I think like in Assassin's Creed, you're collecting these old, in Syndicate, you're collecting music boxes because you get this like assassin plate or whatever, and then you bring them to this centralized area in the game. And once you collect all of them, you unlock something special. Yeah. And that kind of collectible thing makes sense because you're being, I don't know, you're what's the word I'm looking for? You're being ferried toward some end.
Something,
point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the power cells on Horizon for the like
Yeah.
super
Exactly.
armor. Like
Exactly.
you're like, yep, those are out there. The other collectibles are light in Horizon in that regard. The flowers and vessels and
Yeah. Like, what are
flower
we?
vessels that you trade them in when you get to the Meridian. You can
Oh,
there's
okay. So you
merchants
actually.
there's you can trade in sets
Okay.
for special things. So there is a reward for getting all of them, but it doesn't really. When you're telling like it tells you about the world, it doesn't.
Hmm.
They are total like just go find things.
Yeah. Just extend the gameplay. Like,
Yeah, which I feel like a lot of open world games fall into that trap.
right. It's almost like the. I think I heard someone else mention or name it like a checkbox simulator.
Yeah, it's totally checkbox simulator.
Yeah.
And when I heard that Zelda didn't put that stuff on your map, that
Yeah.
that's like, no, you get the geography. That's cool, but it's up to you to place down your markers, decide what you want to like record, go and do. It's a total like they fundamentally are throwing out what basically the open world genre has built itself towards at that point.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
you're talking about a standard that's like, no, you put markers on the map for people to go explore things. And they're like, no, we're not doing that. So that's a really bold decision, honestly, from a design
Yeah.
standpoint, where you're like, no, we're not going to do that. We're
We
going to
know it
throw that
works and
out.
it sells, but no. It's like they played Witcher 3, they played Skyrim, they played Grand Theft Auto, they played other Red Dead, for example, and they saw what worked and they said, how can we make this better, or how can we make this more interesting? Like, and not saying that it's not interesting already, but like there's a spin we can put on this. Like, what
Like,
would you do if you climbed a tower and we didn't mark anything? You just looked around and saw stuff.
yeah,
Crazy.
and that makes it sound a lot like, in weird ways, like where you can just go do anything, like make your own path. I see why people are saying it is like the truest game to like the 1986 Zelda. Like
Yeah.
you just
Right.
start. What are you gonna do?
Yep. You can go north, south, or east. What do you want to do?
Yep, go ways,
Or north,
and
east, or west. Yeah.
you'll find things, and
Yep.
so it's pretty incredible. I'm very interested to see what. So this has come out now. So let's say 2-3 years from now, what lessons are going to be learned from Zelda, and what are going to be basically used in the next generation of open world games. So like, is Red Dead coming out at the end of this year? Supposedly, is Rockstar now going, crap? We need to rethink some of this stuff.
I bet you, if I were to guess, the one thing that people took away from this, it would be the thing where the quote unquote climb the tower mechanic, whatever that is for your game. And then when you get up there, they don't mark anything on your map.
Yeah,
They make you look around. And I don't know if other games could do that successfully. Like, just the idea of exploration is just so baked into Zelda.
yeah, that's my thing. I'm like, I feel like if an Assassin's Creed tried to pull that, you'd get a backlash.
I agree. I think that the fans of that game wouldn't want that.
Yeah, so it's not going to work for everything. I was Phil, you mentioned it. That's probably going to be one of those things that a lot of other games are going to try, and it's not going to work for them.
Well, and it's kind of the question that people had after Shadow of Mordor, like, oh, who's going to do the Nemesis system next? And no one, no one did that system. No one took it and did anything with it, which was surprising to me.
It's a hard
Um,
system to get right, is the thing.
yeah, I
So
guess.
it's not. Again, it's one of those systems where it's like you can't just half bake it,
Right.
because if you half bake it, then it's just this crappy power enemy thing that doesn't really have much meaning.
Hmm.
And to do it well, it takes like Shadow of Mordor spent clearly the development time spent a ton of time building that system. Like a good chunk of development of that game was developing the Nemesis system and making it function, and then tuning it so that it's something that people actually like cared about.
Right.
So I feel like just tossing it into a game, like, oh, we got to do this thing, we got to do it quick. You're just going to get a pretty lackluster system. So things like that are. We learned like this at PodCap too. Like whenever we're making like, it was the whole original thing with like Plants vs Zombies and Peggle and thing. Those games was like the casual game market was full of imitators. People would just take the mechanic and do it, but you never saw you didn't see Peggle and Plants vs Zombies like imitators for until like a year plus
Mm-hmm.
because they can't do it quickly.
Right.
Like they're like you could try, but it's going to be really bad, really really bad. And so I feel like some of the mechanics like that, like these really key ones, and Zelda probably being one with like the climb anywhere thing, explore anywhere. Like you can't just try to shoehorn that and do it quick. Like if you don't nail it, it's going to be horrible play experience. Think of Zelda if like they hadn't made what if the map had just they had all that climbing and exploration, but it was boring.
It would be a terrible game.
Yeah, you're just like, God, it's all the same plateaus. I'm not seeing anything interesting.
Right. And that's what I think it gets so right is that, sure, okay, here's the main quest, and we'll put a dot on your map. Like, it does give you a dot on your map for the main quest. Like, you talk to someone that says, oh, go talk to this person, which the first person I had to go talk to kind of blew my mind. And I think it might blow your mind too. But it gives you that dot. So it's way far away, and along your way you get lost for like 15 hours. Like you know, it makes so many exciting, interesting things along the way. And I think that's what other games don't do. And I think that's right, where you're climbing and it's like, this is just boring because there's nothing. It's just scaling. You know, they made the climbing a mini game. They made it a resource management game, and that's just the mini game to get to the thing you're getting. You know, the bigger part of the game, which is the quest or whatever. Everything is like boiled down to like this interesting mini game, resource management. Even like the weapons breaking is this just great hodgepodge of how do you manage your weapons, and you're always thinking. It's brilliant.
And talk about another throw out long running ideas of the series. Yeah, we're gonna have weapons that don't stick around. How do you like that? Your sword breaks. Enjoy it.
I've hated that in other games.
I know.
Really have.
It's just funny. I just look at it. I'm just like, holy crap. And that's one of the things I had worried about long before. Was like, man, that's going to be annoying. Like
me too.
But no one is like. I've seen a couple people not happy with it, but most people are like, no, it's cool. You get a lot. You have a ton of weapons. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, you have a ton of weapons. They handle it well that way, and it kind of sucks when you have a favorite weapon that breaks. But it for me, it always comes. It has come down to what I always say about wine. I love wine, and the reason why I love wine so much is because when you find like a vintage or a type that you really like, there is a finite amount of that wine in the world, and when you're finished with it, it's gone. Like you will never in history ever have that again, and it makes it more special. So I feel like fighting with some of these weapons, like it has that same feeling. Like it's a really unique experience right now because I have this really cool weapon, and then eventually it's gone. I will say the other thing that kind of mitigates the frustration is that you can use Amiibo to kind of warp in new weapons. Not all the time, but for example, like Ganondorf has a chance to drop like a really exotic sword, but otherwise he might just drop in like a regular weapon or whatever. So if you're running out of weapons, you could use your Amiibo to get new ones.
I've heard people without even Amiibos that they're not skimpy on like giving you
absolutely
weapons.
Not.
Like
right.
So I feel like everything. It's interesting to believe that this Breath of the Wild, the Zelda game, is now probably being put up as like the pinnacle of open world games out of Nintendo. Who do quality games,
right?
When they sometimes, most times they have their duds, but
Mario Party 10, that was a dud.
Yeah, let's talk about the last chunk of Metroid games, or
I'll say Other M.
Other M, like. They definitely have their faults sometimes. Was it Star Fox?
Oh God damn it! I erase that from my memory.
Exactly, but see, that's the thing. Like, but they also then can create games that are like people are like, no, these are the best, some of the best games ever, and they somehow managed to do that to the open world game.
Yeah, they sure did.
God, I gotta make sure I beat Horizon. Oh, it's gonna be bad if I don't. Which I just don't think I can.
You don't have time to beat it?
I don't think so.
Right.
This is going to be painful, I'm sure. So yeah, I mean, that's our little bit longer discussion on open world, mostly Zelda, but...
Yeah, well, to reward our listeners for getting through that, I hope it was reward enough listening to that, but I have a game for you for Steam that is the opposite of open world. This is a code for Mini Metro, and it's IAAZZRZZ46 TA8L0. And I'm pretty sure that's a 0 and not an O, but try them both, but I think it's a 0. So enjoy Mini Metro, folks.
Dude, it's a great game.
Oh my god, I love
Such
that
a
game.
great puzzle game.
Yeah,
Shockingly
simple,
addictive.
smart. Yeah, really is. So our news, we've got something from Kotaku, which comes from PlayStation, that the software update 4.5 is live for PS4.
Have you even turned on your PS4 since getting?
Since Zelda?
Yeah.
I turned it on because it was in rest mode, so I turned it on to turn it off. No, I haven't touched Horizon. I haven't touched my PS4.
I haven't seen you on at all.
Nope.
Yeah, I was wondering.
Yeah. Sorry, folks. I have not at all. And it's crazy because, I looked at my Wii U for a long time. Like, I'm not turning it on. That's kind of sad. And now I'm like, I'm not turning on my PS4, which is the thing. That's my go-to platform.
Yeah, but you'll get back to it, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Once I'm through Zelda. But I imagine I'll be playing this game for till April, May. I don't know. It's just, there's so much to it.
Yeah. As long as it's keeping it interested. So, but 4.5 came out. I updated mine. I had no issues. Some people are reporting lag in multiplayer games.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not a ton, but a small percentage. And I haven't dug into it because I haven't noticed anything. So, but one of the key things is external hard drive support.
Finally.
Which, holy crap, I'm not like out of space or anything, but I really don't want to put another drive into it. I just don't want to deal with that. So the fact that I can just, plug my external drive in if I need to, thumbs up.
Well, I took out the original 500 and put in a 2 terabyte about a year ago. I actually made the process really easy, but my 2 terabytes pretty much full, and I can't go bigger than that. So I'm like very happy that I can plug an external 2 terabyte into this thing, and then
you keep every game downloaded.
I keep a ton, yeah, and the games are getting bigger and bigger, but yeah, I keep a ton because I cycle through games a lot, and I just like to have them all on there. So
yeah,
if I'm probably at 1.5 terabytes, because I had to delete a bunch of stuff to get Horizon on there or whatever. So I would fill up a 2 terabyte. I'm gonna probably buy one eventually and plug it in because why not? Yeah, they're cheap now. So
one other thing in here that was weird that I didn't know was not possible. You can now voice chat on remote play with this. I didn't realize while you're remote playing you couldn't do voice chat.
Well, I wonder how that would. I've never had success with remote play. It just seems really laggy. I wonder how that would.
I've done it at my house on my PC to my PS4. It worked fine.
Yeah. Okay.
You just have to have a really strong connection.
Yeah. Cool.
So, but it's just one of those things where I'm like, oh, I guess I've never tried talking to people. Then boost mode for PS4 Pro.
Right. So the games that don't have a Pro update basically still can take advantage of the power.
Yeah. So
and there's custom backgrounds. You can make your own theme basically, or make your own background, I guess.
Which with Zero Dawn, the photo mode, I spent probably a little bit more time in that than I would like to admit to.
Yeah.
It's just fun. I'm like, oh, it's a neat shot. Let's take that.
And it's so easy to use too.
Yeah.
And you can change the time of day or whatever, change the lighting.
Yeah. I mean, so I think that's most of the stuff here. I mean, there's some stuff on PSVR improvements, messaging, community
Share
apps.
Factory.
Yeah, Share Factory, which I've never used.
No, me neither.
I don't have a camera, so why?
Right.
Don't you need a camera for that?
I don't think so.
Oh.
I've used it once without a camera.
Okay.
I just didn't. I made it. You kind of. It's almost like iMovie.
Oh, it's like the editing thing. Is that what they call Share?
Exactly.
That's what Share Factories. Oh.
Yeah. So I think you can use a camera with it, but I haven't. But definitely the most exciting thing is the hardware plus the screenshot background thing.
Yeah. So the screenshot, and that leads into the next piece of news that came out of nowhere, because this is how Games works now.
Apparently.
So Wednesday, they put out a trailer and a new update. and it wasn't a small update. So No Man's Sky got updated again. It's becoming more and more of the game that people, I think, were expecting it to be.
Right.
They added ground vehicles you can build now at your base, so you can, whatever home planet you choose, you can cruise around on different, like a different buggy, a hover thing, and then a big giant multi-wheel truck thing that also has a mining laser on it, so you can do like big mining excursions with it. But they added photo mode, and I've seen a bunch of stuff coming to my Twitter feed of people using it for photos, and it looks amazing.
Oh, wow.
Like, I could totally see me. I mean, the game already looked good, and you could get really cool planets and space shots, and yeah, people are using that thing to full extent. So I feel like you could use that to make a really cool theme now on 4.5.
Well, I saw a lot of positive buzz around this update where people who were, not happy with the game are like, this is really cool. So
yeah, I mean, that's the thing with the game. Like, they haven't stopped.
Right.
They just have stopped talking about it, and they're just like, the only time we're going to talk about what we're doing with the game is when we put out an update. Like, the day we put out an update.
Right. Well, that's smart, I think. I mean, I don't know if they should be completely radio silent, but I think that...
I think what they went through, yeah, I don't fault them for being radio silent anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just like, yeah, you got a ton of crap. I completely see that it's probably easier for you and your dev team and everyone to just be like, nope, we're not talking about anything. We'll just continue to make the game.
Dude, I'm looking at this video right now where the guy's got the little dune buggy running around.
Yeah.
This trailer. This looks rad.
Yeah. And the trailers are just like in-game now. Like, they're like, yep, we're just on a planet. We're doing it. Supposedly you can come and visit other people's bases now. So if you find someone's base, you can actually visit. They won't be there, but you can find people's what they've done in the universe now. So yeah, it was just kind of a shocking, like, unexpected on Wednesday, waking up going, oh, I should give that a try again.
And you updated it, so you have that update.
I don't have this one. I have the last one.
Okay.
I've been so focused on Horizon, I'm like, I can't distract myself. So, hopefully soon.
Yeah.
No, it won't be soon, because I'll get Breath of the Wild, and then I'm going to have Mass Effect. Like, soon might be summer. That's how I feel like for Mass Effect. Like, I'm going to play this until I'm done, which might be never. And then I'm going to beat Horizon, and then maybe I'll get to Mass Effect, or maybe I'll be hanging out with Baby at that point. So yeah,
not exactly sure. So sorry for the coughing. Got a little bit of an itch in my throat.
But I think the next game will be something you might pick up.
I 100% already have it preloaded. Not preloaded. What the fuck? Not preloaded. Pre-ordered. And I'm thinking
your wife will want to play this too.
Dude, day before, we're downstairs, and we had like a half an hour before we were gonna do something. She's like, can we play Mario Kart? And I was like, it's upstairs now. I unplugged the Wii U so I can plug in the Switch. And she was just like, oh. And I was like, damn it, I shouldn't have unplugged it so soon. She loves this. We put 150 hours in this game, and almost all of them are 2-player. So I'm definitely gonna get this again. I thought I would get the physical, but I think I'm just gonna download it. I'm just gonna get digital. I think Breath of the Wild will be the only physical game I get for Switch, and the rest will be digital.
You're not going to try to taste this cart as well?
No, wow. That was terrible. Like, really...
And now legit. I have to try it. You do know this, right?
Sure, go ahead.
There is no reason. Like, whenever everyone talks, they're like, it's terrible. I'm like, now you just piqued my curiosity. Like, I have to know how terrible this is.
That's why I did it, too. My wife was like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I have to know. And I found out it's real bad. But what you're alluding to is basically Mario Kart 8 coming out on Switch on the 28th of April, I think.
Yeah.
And when Mario Kart 8 came out for Wii U, it was an event in my house. I had everyone over, and we just did tournaments and just played, and it was so fun until you did battle mode, and battle mode was terrible. And this game does legit battle mode, like not even just like regular battle mode, but like so many different options, like bomb blast and a capture the flag. Yeah. And oh my god, I saw
it had the Splatoon characters now.
Yep, it's got like 7 new characters. I think.
Yeah, it's 42 possible characters now in the deluxe, the Switch the deluxe version on Switch.
And the new one gives you Inkling Boy, Inkling Girl, King Boo, Dry Bones, Bowser Jr.
Yeah.
And then brings in some of their new carts. So you get the Bowser Jr. cart, you get the Inkling Boys and Girls have one.
I hadn't realized the roster and characters was so big for this one.
Huge.
Yeah.
There's a lot of baby characters, but it's pretty big. The thing that I'm hoping for is that this is opening the door to another DLC pack of new courses, because I'm a little disappointed that there aren't new courses. It's the only thing that makes me a little bummed out to pay twice. But I got 150 hours out of paying $60. Like I'm not worried about buying it again.
Yeah.
And then a couple of systems changes. There are some new items coming back. The feather from the Super Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo,
Yep.
and then the ghost where you can steal someone's item. But you can also hold 2 items at once.
Yeah, I saw that double item thing.
Yeah, you can only have one. So that's changes the strategy basically.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I was watching the video. It's really exciting to me too. Like, this is definitely one that when I do get a Switch, I want Mario Kart 8 badly.
You have to get it. It's so good.
And I saw that the trailer, it had it. You can play 4-player split screen on TV.
Right.
You can play 2-player split screen with the Switch in display mode.
Right.
So kickstand it up.
Yep.
And then, of course, you can play single-player handheld mode, but you can connect it up to 8 other people in handheld mode.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
That's so smart.
You can have a Mario Kart party with everyone and bring their Switches over.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm actually, once I saw all the differences and all the additions, I'm like, man, yeah, I want this one. I think this would be one I'd put a lot of hours into.
Oh my god, you absolutely will.
My kids would love it.
Yep, your kids would love it. And there's like a mode, it's like bumpers for bowling, basically, where you don't fall off.
That's good.
Which is really cool for the friends who have kids who like want to play the game, but they always fall off the track or don't know where they're going. But I'm just kind of a little jealous, like the people who are picking up a Switch and who passed on the Wii U and never played this game. Like, you get everything is new to you. Like, this game was, I mean, to be perfectly honest, it was good enough to be the only game you bought for Wii U and make the price justify. Like, it was just, I played that much of it.
Nice.
That and Smash Brothers, which I assume is coming to the Switch one day.
Yeah, we'll see what they eventually do there. But yeah, you have to assume that some incarnation of Smash Brothers will make it onto the Switch.
Right. I don't know if there's a single first-party Nintendo game this year that I'm not going to buy.
I can kind of see that. Like, I figure, like, getting the Switch, like, I already know, like, well, even if I have, you let me borrow the Wii U and I have Breath of the Wild here to play through that, I'm like, I'm going to buy a Switch. I'm going to get it again for the Switch.
And you're going to play through it again on the Switch, I'm sure.
Like, that's just the thing. And I'm like, okay, there's a Mario game coming out. There's Mario Kart 8. I mean, right there, I've now got 3 games this year. I'm like, that's worth it for the system for me. Like, they wouldn't have to probably release anything else. I'd be like, cool.
But then stack onto that Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which is probably a game you're interested in.
That's not this year, though, is it?
No, it's this
next year.
No, I think it's Q4.
Really?
Yeah,
we'll see if that holds.
Yeah, I don't know if it would hold, but I believe they said Q4.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, that would be definitely a big game that I would be interested in, and we'll see what other stuff comes out. But honestly, even right now, most people I know that are saying that they're like, Zelda is enough for the purchase price. They're like,
absolutely.
Yep, $360. It's worth it.
Yeah.
You want to play the best game ever? That's how much money you have to pay. It's worth it.
Yeah, and for people who are kind of on the fence that there aren't a lot of games right now, you're going to pay the same amount for the Switch later.
Yeah.
Like, just jump. I mean, no one can find one right now, but
yeah, I'll be interested to see when they come back in stock. But I have a feeling
like April.
They'll trickle. They'll just be shipments. They'll trickle in.
Well, and you saw what GameStop was doing? No. Okay, so GameStop's got guaranteed consoles. You only have to buy a bundle that's $580 or $550 that includes like a charging grip and a Zelda guidebook and a bunch of other stuff.
Of course.
Where if you buy that stuff separately, it costs less than the actual bundle. So they're making you pay a premium just to have it in a bundle and a bunch of stuff that you don't want.
To
just
guarantee
to get the
that you get
Switch.
a console.
Exactly.
Sounds like what GameStop would do.
Yep, pretty much. So the last piece of news is something that you can speak more to than I can.
Yeah, it's really just a kind of a big history thing. So Naughty Dog's co-president, Christoph Balestra, he this week put up a public letter saying that he is leaving Naughty Dog. And so, yeah, I mean, it's just a big... Naughty Dog has put out some amazing stuff. He joined, like I was reading, like back when they were still doing Crash and Jak and Daxter. Like,
so he's been there all through Uncharted.
Yeah, I mean, he was there through their rise to being like, from doing these kind of more arcadey games, platformer games, to being like the powerhouse of narrative video game and design. So it's a pretty impressive run. And at first I was like, okay, like, is he having problems? Is he going to go somewhere else? No. It just sounds like he's just done. He wants to spend time with his family, and knowing how hard and much time that Naughty Dog puts into their games as a team, I'm not shocked he's decided that he just is like, wants to spend time with his family.
Right.
So, will he ever come back to the industry? He might. But
yeah, I wonder what those personal projects are that he's interested in.
He probably, exactly that. Small things that maybe will eventually become something, but everyone's a little bit different in this like leaving the industry type thing. But of the people I've known that have left for similar reasons, like, they really just taken time off to just enjoy life instead of having to work like insane hours, and then being co-president of one of the most successful video game studios in the world probably doesn't come lightly in the work hour department.
Yeah, I'm sure that he's putting in a ton of hours. So eventually, when you have, fulfilled your career ambitions, I suppose, and have all the money in the world, like, you realize you want to do things that matter more, maybe spend time with family.
I mean, he has wife, and I think it said he has kids. So I wouldn't be surprised. He's like, yeah, I have the ability to do this. Let's do this. So I don't feel like it's a problem for Naughty Dog overall. Evan Wells is still there, but it will be interesting to see how it progresses as time goes on, because it's interesting having a co-presidency. You have these two can bounce ideas off of each other, and that usually makes for stronger ideas because you're getting constant feedback. And I assume over 15 years, these people have a really good working relationship on how to effectively edit one another when they're thinking of ideas and how they're presenting, like, to be like, okay, I can speak frankly to you. You're going to tell me if this is stupid or not.
Right.
And so whenever you lose a voice like that, it's probably always going to be a little bit jarring. So.
Well, it's interesting to go from a co-presidency to just a singular president.
Yeah. So I think it's something to watch on, but I have a feeling that there's other powers, Sony, that are going to be very much like the Last of Us Part 2 is going to be amazing, people.
Yeah.
We're going to make sure that it's amazing. So.
And hopefully before that comes out, you and I will both play The Last of Us.
It's true. I need to do that.
We should eventually do that, I think. I mean, the time that I've spent with Breath of the Wild, I could have already beaten The Last of Us. So
that's true.
It's not like I don't have time. It's just I don't have time.
Yeah. Zombies, man.
Yep, I know.
The zombies thing.
It's just tired to me. I don't really like zombies that much.
Although they're not really straight zombies in Last of Us, but whatever. Zombies.
Oh, they're clickers?
No, they're like, it's zombies, but it's like a fungus type thing.
Yeah.
So it's just it's zombie, but with slight alteration, and not like eating humans necessarily.
Right.
But either way, it still has never. I got so tired of zombies. I'm still tired of zombies.
Me too. I keep trying to get back to The Walking Dead, Telltale, because I hear it's really amazing, but it's just like zombies. I don't really care about zombies. So, well, whatever. So on to what we're playing. I'm going to save mine for last because I've talked a lot about Breath of the Wild, so I want to hear about Horizon.
Okay. So Horizon, I'm at 34ish hours into it now.
Damn.
I'm level 36 or so. I don't know how much. I honestly have no clue how long the story is. Like most of my time is spent exploring, doing side quests. Well, the side quests aren't as involved as The Witcher 3. I'm
Mm-hmm.
appreciating some of the side quests quite a bit because they really flesh out side characters really well. Like it feel like they're actually they tend to be longer, more drawn out tasks than just like go fetch this, come back.
Mm-hmm.
Like they have a different class. They call it what, errands.
Right.
Like those are very much shorter things, but the actual things they call side quests typically have like uh, multi objective parts that you're going through and kind of tells like a mini story. So I feel
Mm-hmm.
like they learned from The Witcher there. They're, like I said, they're not as involved as The Witcher 3's, but those have been good. Um, Doing a lot of collectibles. Like I revealed all the map now, and I find myself that there's been a couple nights this week I'm like I shouldn't really start playing right now. It's kind of late. I really should. But then I start playing, and then you
Yeah.
have that thing where you're like, I should stop playing. Oh, but there's a campfire over. Okay, I'll just go to that campfire. It's cool. That's I can save at that campfire. I'll be done. Oh, what's that over there? Let me go look at that.
Yeah.
And it just keeps going and going and going. And I usually play like an hour and a half longer than I intend to.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's a good game. It is an exceptionally well done open world game. The animation is amazing. The combat, I'm really liking the combat now a lot. Um, I'm generally good at fighting the robots now, but they're still. I'm playing on normal or whatever
Mm-hmm.
and I still can't get cocky.
Because you
Like,
make a mistake, you get slaughtered.
oh yeah, like it is totally a game of like your power level is increasing, your health points are going up, and you're getting kind of better weapons. But taking down like the bigger robots, the sawtooths, and I still haven't done a Thunderjaw yet. That's my next. That's going to be a
Yeah.
whole like focus. Like I fear trying to fight that thing. Um,
Wow, in 34 hours you haven't fought a Thunderjaw yet? What?
no, I don't want to.
Wow.
There's like 6 robots I haven't even seen, haven't even faced. So
Wow.
I don't know what those are going to be. But uh, just fighting bigger packs of robots and stuff is hard. Like if you don't come at it prepared, you will get slaughtered quickly. Um, so that's been fine. I've glitched out the AI a couple times, so the AI doesn't like water. So you can get on the other side of a deeper part of water,
Mm-hmm.
and the robots won't cross it.
So you can just like snipe them from there?
Yeah,
Uh,
which I'm like, okay, it kind of makes sense. They don't want to go into water, but
right, because they're robots.
this is annoying. Like, it's not annoying. It makes it so I can get through certain things, or like, but it
You can
feels
just
kind of
cheese an
cheesy.
area.
Yeah, it just
Yeah.
doesn't feel like you're like, oh, this feels a little weird. The human stuff is a little lackluster in combat. That's pretty basic. That's just a complaint that's been going around
Yeah.
since it came out. There's like, yeah, it works, but it's fun when fighting the robots, fighting humans. It's you basically just want to do that from stealth most of the time. Just makes it quicker. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like overall, I want to keep pushing into the game. Like the story is continuing to get interesting. It's a really as they develop the world and the factions, it gets more and more interesting to me. Like for a new IP, this is setting up a pretty incredible world. I am hats off to Guerrilla Games for keeping me like invested in the character and like wanting to learn more about this world. Like I still want to know where the robots came from. Why are they here? Like what has happened?
Well, that makes me happy to hear because after 34 hours, you're still invested in the story. I felt like there was some. I've been really attuned to the story in people's reviews of Horizon to see if it sustained them. And some people have said it was just window dressing. It wasn't really that interesting. But to hear that you're invested in the characters is really good
I
because
admit that
that's
I
what I
like
care about.
Aloy as a character. The side quests have helped flesh out some of the other characters a bit. I mean, it's very much like I feel like a world building story. I mean, which isn't shocking. It's a new IP. So I feel like the story is not the strongest from a character standpoint, because it's being used as a way to show this new world. But
Right.
I don't
Right.
think it's
Right.
bad. Like, I've played a lot of bad stories. This is not a bad story. It's got some twists. I have a feeling like there's going to be. I'm curious. I can see that. Like, I'm like, I can't be close to the end yet, even with how far I am. But I can only imagine there's a couple more twists to come. Like, yeah, I just don't know. Like, there's definitely got to be some twist with the factions, and you just start learning more history of the world about all these factions, how they're intertwined. There's a lot of politics in it once you get to Meridian.
Yeah.
So
it's definitely not something that you can telegraph the ending to. Like, it's even how far in you are. It's
yeah, I can't tell you. I don't know what the ending's going to be. I really don't. I also don't know. I'm like, are they going to go? I could start thinking more if I felt like I knew where the game was going to go from a thematic standpoint. Like, is it going to go for a more darker ending, or is it going to be uplifting? Like, that could, but they haven't really telegraphed how this is going to play out. You're still kind of guessing, like is Aloy going to live or not, or like, is there a tragedy here? I don't know.
Well, the way that people keep talking about how this is setting up like a franchise, I mean, I guess the world could live on and she could die. I just can't imagine she's going to die.
I don't think they would, but
it'd be a brave step, I think.
Exactly. This could be a George R. R. Martin step.
Right. Well, I was talking to my father-in-law tonight about that show, and he said, yeah, once they killed Ned, I was done. Like, I was invested in that character, and they got rid of him. I was like, yeah, good thing you didn't keep watching then.
Yeah. Well, I told you my story. Or my friend Carl, who read that book, Game of Thrones, in college.
Yep.
He got to that point. Ned got headshot. He closed the book, threw it across the room, and never read it again.
Unreal. Oh my God.
He was like, nope, I'm done. I'm out. Wow. He was like, I'm done with this book.
And he never came back to it, I assume.
Nope.
Jeez. Wow.
It was not anything that he wanted.
What a piece of literature to walk away from.
Oh. Yeah. But some people just don't want to deal with that kind of like, I've got invested in this character and now they're just gone.
Right.
Like, so quickly too. Just like,
yep.
Yeah. I mean, that's why it was such a cool decision of why I enjoyed it, but I can definitely see people that do not like stories like that.
Yep. No, absolutely. You feel like you kind of just wasted your time. You read like a 1,000-page doorstopper that now the character is dead. Luckily, there's so many other characters.
Yes. And they all die anyway.
Yeah, and spoiler alert, they all die. Everyone
Let's just be honest. Here's the biggest spoiler for Game of Thrones in the whole series. Everyone dies. Just be okay with it. Like, they're all gonna die. You know it.
Right.
So
there's no way Tyrion.
This is actually the story of the like great grandkids or something. Like,
yeah. Right. Exactly. Yep. And it's also the story of like legacy of houses.
It is legacy.
Like, the house endures.
Yeah. It is totally. That's a theme that runs through the whole thing.
Yeah.
Which is kind of why the last season of the TV show, with the ending with Cersei and everything, was such a like really hammered home in that theme, because how many houses were just gone after that?
Absolutely obliterated. Right?
Yeah, like that legacy is done. These houses are dead. So that was a nice thematic callback to that. Just, yep. What is legacy? But what is legacy is Breath of the Wild.
And Breath of the Wild is an amazing game that I'm playing. I get like an hour and a half every night, maybe 2 hours. And it's great because I can lay in bed next to my wife and play, I play a handheld like 80% of the time. And I mean, I said so much about it earlier. There's not a ton more to say other than like the exploration is just rad. Like last night, like, let's see here. I like paraglided off of a tower that I'd stumbled across. Like, I came over a mountaintop and saw a tower that I've been looking for like 3 hours. I'm like, oh, there's the tower. And then I paraglided off of it. And as I was paragliding, there were a bunch of horses below me. So I kind of paraglided down to a horse, jumped onto it from the paraglider, tamed it, and then just rode around looking for a stable. Couldn't find one, unfortunately, but I ran across a shrine but in front of the shrine were a bunch of Boblikins or whatever
Yeah,
they're called, on
Bobolins.
horseback, and I just pulled out this huge sword and just ran up to him and just like clotheslined them basically with a sword. And then they started following me. This like a horseless or riderless horse was chasing me, and I just kind of flipped off the horse and jumped into the shrine. And I got into the shrine, and it was a test of power, which is basically there's a guardian inside that you got to beat. Um, and I have 4 hearts right now because I put my stuff in the stamina, and I think I played him like 6 times and kept making mistakes, and then I finally figured out his pattern, figured out how to beat him. And it took me like 25 minutes to beat him, and I just kept eating food as I would take damage and tried these different strategies and figured out one that finally worked. And it was just throwing myself at this shrine that should take a more powered person 3 minutes to beat. Maybe I was underpowered, so, or low health or
Yeah.
whatever, that it took me quite a long time, and it was just fun. And I can kind of expand the game in that way by tackling things above my weight class basically. And then in the last couple of days, I've just been roaming across the landscape, and I'm roaming across some just nondescript area, and all of a sudden out of the ground comes a boss. It's not a dungeon, it's not a shrine, it's just a boss in the middle of nowhere. And you could probably finish the game and never fight that boss. And these bosses that come out of nowhere are just like the bosses in the, like Wind Waker dungeons or whatever. Like
Yeah.
they have a pattern, they have a, like a weakness.
A
and
trick. Yeah.
They have a trick, exactly. So you figure out the trick. But the interesting thing is it's not like the do it 3 times and you defeat them. They have a health bar. So certain attacks will take a little bit of health, but if you figure out the trick, that will take a lot of health. And it's really like this boss I fought was thematic with where I found the boss. So the way that I beat the boss was kind of how I was interacting with the environment anyways. And it, turned like just strolling through this meadow into like all of a sudden I'm doing a 45-minute boss fight. Like, where did this come from? Like, because the first few times I was, didn't know, I wasn't expecting it, wasn't prepared, and had to learn its pattern, figure things out. And
So
it
is
just,
dying not really? I've heard that it's not really that punishing.
oh no. You start over from your last save. So,
And I've heard that the saves, it happens all the time.
yeah,
Like
it auto
you
saves
have
a
no
lot.
clue where it's doing it, but it's doing it.
I don't think that you don't have any clue, because in the lower left hand corner, there's a little symbol that shows up when it saves.
Okay.
So if you're paying attention, you can see it. But it's kind of translucent a little bit, so maybe you'd miss it. But you can also save whenever you want. So I save pretty often. And just those moments where like you can turn around a corner, you think you're taking a 5-minute stroll to something, and it could turn into just a random NPC who really likes flowers. This weird NPC that I found that was basically like taking me to task for something I did to the flowers around this shrine or whatever, to a boss, to a tower you didn't see, to it's the surprise is almost endless right now. I think I've put about 12 to 15 hours into the game, and I'm constantly surprised. And literally, I'm basically nowhere in the main quest. I'm on like the second main quest step, and I don't even know how many main quest steps there are, but there's way more to do. And everywhere I go, I can see Hyrule Castle kind of, deformed by the darkness. And I know that I could go that direction, but I'm not. And of all the map areas, I've kind of unlocked, quote unquote, like 3 map areas out of like, I guess there may be 12 to 15. I don't know how many exactly. And of those places I've unlocked, I've probably discovered like 10% of what's there, maybe. And once you unlock the like the shrines or some different areas, you can fast travel around. And that's a weird mechanic. It's basically teleportation, where like if I'm in a battle that I need to get out of, I can just open my map and then fast travel to somewhere else, and then I just disappear from the fight. So it's a little weird way to kind of run away.
Yeah, but I can still see that. Like, yeah, just let yourself get out of there.
Yeah, and I think if you have the power to teleport like that, then sure, you would definitely do that.
Yeah, it sounds like that's intended if people want to avoid it, or
Yeah,
you attempt it and die, and then load at your last save and go out your way and go like, I'm not going over that way. I'm gonna go this way.
well, there's some items I've heard about in different shrines that like make different things you do in the game easier, that I'm hoping to stumble across. I don't know where they are. But as I'm like fighting enemies, like I like throw a fire arrow into the ground and then it like lights the forest on fire and then everyone burns alive, or I chop a tree down and it falls on someone and it kills them,
Yeah.
or it's just you could approach like a combat situation in like 10 different ways. And
Yeah, so it sounds like it's just a giant sandbox. Like
it
you have
is
all this exploration, but you're guided enough that like there's a story, kind of, but you still are given like, no, there's physics here. There's things react as you would expect. So yeah, go to town, figure it out, do what you want to do.
Yeah, I mean, light the grounds on fire, run up while they're sleeping or whatever, and grab their weapons and throw them away. Throw bombs at them. Pick up the magnet boxes that are around, the metal boxes that are around, and swing them around and smack people in the head and blow them up. It's it's insane. And like if you throw a bomb at someone and it doesn't like, if you don't detonate it or whatever, they pick it up and throw it back at you, or they pick up rocks out of the ground if you dick their weapon, and it's just it's alive in a way that I haven't seen a game be alive. So that's cool. So I'm just playing the Switch this week. I also played Shovel Knight Spectre of Torment, playing through that campaign. It's pretty short, and the levels, the bosses are remixed, and the levels, I don't remember them being the same layout from Shovel Knight. It's just a lot of fun.
Nice.
So if you get to Switch, obviously I recommend you play Shovel Knight, but at least get this one. It's $10 to play this campaign. Yeah. It's really fun. My wife was watching me play, and every time I die, she just laughs at me. She's like, "You died again. You suck." It was really fun. And then I also played Fast Racing RMX, which is like the Fast Racing Neo from Wii U put onto this. Digital Foundry did a thing where they just said this is the best looking portable game we've ever seen. So it's a racing game like Wipeout. It's like a cross.
Oh yeah.
F-Zero. We should play it when you're here.
Yes,
but it is fast, fun. I don't, other than like Mario Kart, I don't really like racing games that much. But there's something about this, like the speed and the power and the way that the courses are laid out are really smart, and it's just fun as hell. So I'm really glad I picked it up.
Let's play it while I'm down there.
And that's what I'm playing.
Nice.
That's we're both playing. We're both knee deep in these huge open world games. We are very focused for the most part. Yeah. So I want to thank everyone for sticking around for episode 76, and thank you to everyone who made episode 75 our most downloaded podcast. We hit a really high number for our last episode, probably because of the Switch.
Sure. I assume.
But the title wasn't exactly like anything.
No.
It was just the storm after the calm. I don't know what it just picked up steam and it just kept going and going. It was really great.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
Yeah, really thank you for sticking around listening. If you have any feedback for us, I'm at Prof Plays Games on Twitter, and he is at Summer Speak, and we'd love to hear from you.
Yep. Have a good night, everyone.
All right, night, folks.